I love cooking with fresh herbs and spices from the garden. The only problem is my kitchen is right here and my garden is all the way down there. So I decided to build a solar-powered, self-watering, super stylish, modular planter that's totes easy to build.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
This planter design had to meet some very specific criteria. First, it had to look good because it's up at the house and my husband Adam has very fancy taste. It also had to completely care for itself because I'm not exaggerating when I say I leave the house in the morning to go milk the cow and I very rarely come back before it's time to cook dinner. And of course the last thing is that it needs to be easily accessible to the kitchen, which it is. I need more time! For this and a lot of other outdoor projects on the farm, we are going to be using some of these rough cut cedar seconds that I got from a local sawmill. They are uber cheap, but you do have to be a little choosy as you're picking out your stock. Though we're going to be using cedar for the majority of this build because of its rot resistance, we're getting a little bit of extra structure from 2 treated 4x4s. We're going to use 2 plastic storage bins as the dirt receptacles for this project for a bunch of reasons. First, because we already have them since we just moved, but it also makes a whole lot of things like where the dirt is actually going to be held within the planter and drainage because we'll drill drainage holes in here, but also solves how we would ever clean or dump the dirt from the planter anyway. Another potential way that these bins could be hugely helpful is that if you live in a super cold area, if your dirt line is just below the surface here and your plants aren't that tall yet, you can actually just cover them with their own plastic lids that come with them and have instant row cover. All right, using a very scientific method here, going to make sure that we've just got enough space to cover our butt joint there. Feel free to laugh. The most crucial thing here is that we are square. Once you have your 2 cross members assembled, you can make things really easy for yourself by literally setting it up like this so that we can put our little pieces in here. We are forced to build in here because this is the only level surface on my entire farm. Next thing that we need to do is put in all of the cross members here where the tubs are going to sit. Once these are evenly spaced so that they can distribute the weight of the tub evenly, we're just going to give them a quick pre-drill, mostly because we're drilling so near the end of these pieces that they're going to be really liable to split. Now that we've got these cross members in, it's a great time to drill our water escapement holes. Using these storage totes in this design was not only convenient for me because I just moved across the country and had a whole bunch of them to spare, but also because it literally allows me to have a modular garden. I could have 6 different planters planted with different plants and switch them out as needed. To dress up the front of these boxes and just to add a nice little design feature to the front, we're going to make a geometric pattern and put a whole bunch of face boards like this. We are going to basically haphazardly put these on here at a 45-degree angle. Once we've got all of these attached here, we will do a snap line so that we can cut everything off all in one. And then once you've struck your line, use a straight edge and cut them off square. After we've got the top flush, we've left a little bit here so we can cut this flush after we've got the side pieces on. But when it comes to cutting diagonals here, we want to fit the first diagonal and then everything else is really easy to mark and cut afterwards. To outfit the rest of these boards here, I'm going to cut a 45 on the end of here, and then I have a really easy reference point where I can just mark them and cut them. Like a glove. And then I can start to use my scraps and my cutoffs as the boards get smaller. Boink. All right, now the fun part begins, the fire. Even though the exterior of this planter is cedar, which is rot resistant, I'm going to add another layer of protection and aesthetic coolness by doing a technique called sugi ban. That is a Japanese method of burning the exterior of the wood, which gives it extra rot resistance and also just looks pretty dang cool. As a woodworker, I really love the look of raw wood, and that cedar was really, really cool. So if this project was just for me, I probably would have just left the cedar how it was. But because this is a project for my house, and my husband Adam likes sleek designed things, sugi ban seemed like the perfect way to finish it. After we're finished burning this, then we want to scrape off all the extra ash with a metal brush. We want to go with the grain of the wood. One last finishing touch before we put the bins in and set up the automatic solar-powered self-watering system is to put on some trim boards and finish those. We are going to cut and finish those separately though, because we want to put them on after we've put the bins into place, therefore hiding all signs of plastic. After we have the wood burned and brushed, then we are going to wash it off with a hose. And what this is going to do is flush off all of the extra ash, and we can take it up, oil it, and the next fun part starts. If you're interested in learning more about the sugi ban finishing process, I have a step-by-step tutorial on my Squarespace website. And because these YouTube videos are so short, there's only so much information I can share in each one, so I try to have a helpful blog post to accompany each and every one of my videos. I have been using Squarespace to host my website since I started my business in 2012. And as someone who is not tech savvy at all, it is awesome to have access to beautiful artist designed templates where I can literally drag and drop the pieces of things that I want on my website, and then there they are beautifully presented. If you're interested in starting a website of your own, whether you'd like to host a photo gallery for potential clients to see, or sell stuff online, or if you're like me and you want all of the above, plus a place to host a blog, a place to sell merchandise, and a place for people to find you online, Squarespace is the perfect place to do that. Go to squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/AnnofAllTrades for a 10% discount. For this specific planter, I had to have a way to get the soil from the farm up here, and the totes were the only real way I could think to do that. So another problem solved there. After the Herculean effort to get it up here, it is now time to put on the oil, and then we'll put in the plants. I sealed the finish to prevent soot from wiping off on your hands or clothes with an outdoor oil from a local to Tennessee company called Real Milk Paint Company. I say that slow because it's impossible to say fast. Try it. Let me know how that goes. The real magic of the self-watering garden starts right here. This solar panel collects the sun's energy and powers a little timer attached to a pump. The timer tells the pump when to go off, and the pump, using these two little sensors, can gather water from any kind of rain collecting device. The water is sucked up through this little filter, through this tube, all the way up to the garden. I absolutely love this planter for so many reasons. It's easy to build. It actually only cost me about $10 worth of materials to build the whole thing. It provides the herbs right by my kitchen where I wanted them. The solar-powered rain collection system delivers water right to my plants, but not so much that it drips down on my deck and makes a mess. I also really love this planter design because it's completely adaptable to whatever your needs may be. If you have deck space for this exact design, great. But if you're in a rental situation where you don't have space for a permanent garden, you can actually lose the legs off of here and add more modules so that you have even more growing space that's still completely portable. If you like this project and you want to build one of your own, I have plans available on my website and more in-depth instructions on this project and a lot more like it on my Patreon site as well. I will see you in the next video. Cheers! Rain-fed solar raised herb bed. This week we have another awesome project planned for you. Not for you, but for everyone. Rain-fed raised solar-powered bed. Rain-fed raised solar herb bed. Wow, windstorm. Perfect. It'll be gone in just a moment. Okay. It'll all be over soon. Wow. Best place. Oh my god! Everything's fine. That was genuinely the largest insect I've ever seen.
I didn't see anything.
This makes the worst noise. I can't handle it. The chalk noise is like, man, I want some fried okra so bad.